Hello everybody, my name is Phaewil and welcome to Risk of Rain. So this is a roguelike permanent death game. And it's a bit older now, but it's something that I really wanted to play and show off, and it's a way that I wanted to start a new series that I'm calling Iron Man Mode, in which I'm playing games with permanent death. Now I came up with that because as I was looking, even while playing Song of the Deep, I was looking through my list of Steam games, looking for games that I could play a series of, and I realized I have a lot of games with permanent death. So I decided, well, you know what? I'm just gonna make a series out of it. That was one of the two things I thought of. The second thing I thought of was, I must really not like myself. So, this is the roguelike game I've completed the most, aside from The Binding of Isaac. And I'm probably not going to play The Binding of Isaac because it's not The Binding of Isaac Rebirth or Afterbirth that I have. I just have the first Binding of Isaac, which is not only outdated, but also obsolete at this point. But this is the roguelike game I've completed the most aside from that, so I figured it was a good way to start and introduce this type of series. Before I start, I should mention that this series is going to include videos that follow a different format slightly than my regular Let's Plays. I'm planning to upload these alongside my regular Let's Play videos, so there's still going to be attempted daily content of Hollow Knight, or whatever I'm playing at the time, with the, sometimes technical issues and other problems get in the way. So that's still going to be a daily thing. I'm probably it's technically 2 videos a day. But what makes the format of these videos slightly different is that the beginning video will have my regular intro, but they won't have my typical outro. I will be recording for long periods until I die or until I succeed. If I die quickly, then, well, I'll just continue recording. But it just will keep going until I die, and So there's going to be a lot of episodes of these that kind of just end in the screen going to black. So now that that's all out of the way, I can go play the game. Start single player. I've unlocked every character. I have a few of the artifacts, and I'm going to play on the normal difficulty because I don't want to play on the easy difficulty, and the hard difficulty is too hard for me. Personally, I'm just not that good at the game. Now I'm going to play as my favorite character, the Loader, which is the melee, not the only, but one of the melee focused characters in the game. So as you saw, we were shipping cargo, and we crash landed on this planet because some guy decided to teleport in and, blow everything up. So yeah, I mean, the game doesn't ever actually explain why he does that, but I don't think it needs to do that. So as you can see, Okay. I am a guy, and there's a bar of skills that I have at the bottom. This level up. This roguelike actually has some minor RPG elements, I guess you could say, as there's a leveling system, which just literally increases health. I don't think it affects damage. And we can also spend money to buy back our cargo that crashed on this planet in chests and other relics. The goal is to get through all the levels and defeat Providence, the guy who teleported in with a sword and decided to blow up my ship. But what's really cool about this particular game, I mean, I would say what's cool about it, but it's not. There's nothing really special about it that's not from any other roguelike. That's not in any other roguelike game. It's, it's a typical thing of you kind of get things randomly. But I think what really makes this game shine is that it's just fun. It just has a fun, simple combat system that really lets you once you learn each character and how to play them, you can really understand what items that are available work for your particular playstyle. Yeah, die. Now I'm not gonna I'm just gonna put out right now, this is not a tutorial on how to play the game or beat it. Like I said, I'm not good enough to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, monsoon mode. But I don't know, I just felt like this was a good way to introduce this type of content, which is something that I want to have a slight, a kind of second nature focus on. Secondary focus on. My primary thing is going to be sticking with the regular Let's Plays that I've been doing, like with Song of the Deep and Hollow Knight so far. While this is going to be showing off some of my favorite roguelike games, or just games with permanent death. Because I feel like those have to be, for me anyway, have to be showcased in a much different way. Also, I love the scale of some of the enemies in this game. Like this Colossus. It's not even the biggest enemy in the game. Technically. He's one of the bigger ones, but he's by technicality not the biggest one. If you're talking about total length. Or height. Oh, he dropped his special item. Bosses only sometimes drop their special items. Okay. I didn't even just explain what happened there. I activated the teleporter, and when you activate the teleporter, the boss shows up, and the boss also starts, not the boss, but the enemies start swarming in at you. I also have a lot of money. I need to spend some of my money. I get a random one. I don't remember what this boss's item does. I haven't played this game for a while. And I can get to the next level, but only after I try to defeat all of the enemies. Also, I'm sure that you've probably noticed at this point, aside from my rambling, that there is a difficulty meter on the right side of the top right of the screen that is slowly increasing over time and counting up. What I think is fun about that is that that's not because I chose easy as the difficulty. That's because as the game progresses, it gets harder. More enemies appear with more abilities, like some of the same enemies can appear with powers and more health. I don't remember. They're called elites, I believe. That sounds wrong. So I don't think that's accurate. But the difficulty increases no matter what setting you're on. You could be on the easy difficulty and the difficulty will increase to a point when it just gets ridiculous. There's a maximum point, which I don't know if I'm going to do too well in this run. I don't have very many items, which is kind of my own fault. And if you notice that when I teleported, I lost all my money. Well, sort of. It became experience. So if you have money left, I should have spent more time on that area and got more money. But I didn't want the difficulty meter to increase. So it's a hard balance in that way. For me, anyway. Where you have to decide, okay, I have all this money, do I want to get more items and stay here, or do I want to move on quickly so that I know that I'm not going to have too much difficulty in the later levels, because you can get to the end of the game without the difficulty reaching maximum, which doesn't seem to have any effect on the final boss. But it makes getting to the final boss much easier. And you've probably figured out what the character can use already, but I haven't talked about it yet. So I might as well mention. So I can turn. This character is just the most fun for me because you just walk into melee and just destroy everything that gets too close to you, if you know what you're doing. I don't. I only kind of know what I'm doing with this character. But I do know, but the nice thing about it is that this character will always win a one-on-one fight against a non-boss enemy. Because his ability to turn invincible for a short duration has a 3-hit combo attack that at the end of the combo will launch enemies into the air, and will also, I guess it doesn't work too well against these guys because they poison. Can't get the poison clouds. Oh, that's good. I'll have a small shield now. I have a grappling hook attack that can pull you to enemies and solid cliffs. That's good. That means I can come back to life one time. And of course, I'm sure you saw the electrical pillars, which are very nice against bosses and large groups of enemies. As it kind of just creates an area where they're just taking damage over time, and you can still hit them, it doesn't hurt you at all. I went invincible there because there is fall damage in the game. And I wasn't sure if I was going to take fall damage or not. Right now I'm just trying to find the teleporter. It can be anywhere. It's right there. But yeah, it can be anywhere in the level. I think this enemy is technically the biggest enemy in terms of length. I think so, anyway. Biggest boss, anyway. All the bosses are all bigger than the normal enemies. Free stat. Could have done that better. So yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage, which is not good. That I'm already taking a lot of damage. Because that means that later on when the enemies are dealing more damage, I'm not going to be able to survive. Oh, jeez. I think I'm going to be able to get past this boss to the next level thanks to my Guardian Heart mostly. But I don't think I'm going to fare too well on the next stage unless I can get some really good items at the beginning of the next stage. Ouch. Or if the boss drops something really good. I don't know what the boss even dropped. Oh, the stun grenade. Which is okay. Okay, I can... So you can see that these enemies have larger health bars. I need to get away from them so my Guardian Heart can recharge. I'm going to be cheating with that quite a bit. Okay, toxic stun. Okay, so that has a chance to infect enemies that are nearby with the toxic centipede, which will hurt them over time. Like that. Oh no, he hit me with lightning. Yeah, he has the ability to shock enemies or shock me if I'm too close to him, which is really bad for me as this character. There we go. Now you can see all of my money turn into experience points. It doesn't translate one for one. I think that just gives me an... I'm pretty sure that this is better. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Also, those, they're not dead. Those enemies are not dead, as you can see this one right here. It just falls down pretty far. There's also a small variety, but there's variety of levels. There's a chance that I could have ended up on a lava level, I believe. That might be the 4th level. I don't know. The only levels that are always the same are, and they're not, like, the very final level is pretty much always the same. And even then, it's slightly different each time. But that's very typical of a roguelike game. To be random, it's more like procedurally generated. How much money is that? Not enough. Is when we start encountering the more annoying enemies, in my opinion. These, they're, not clay. Terracotta. They're terracotta soldiers, actually. But they don't, but they're just fast and annoying, and that's like a bull guy. I think some of the enemies also have particular areas, like levels, that they only appear in. Which is kind of... I don't know what was like ticking, that was weird. Looks like, yeah, no. I'm always just looking for the teleporter exit, generally. They have a healer. Well, so that's my least favorite enemy ability that they can gain, is they can have the ability to generate a healing field where all the enemies around them get healed slowly over time, which makes it much harder to kill them. Including themselves. They heal themselves too. And it's hard to it can be very hard to pick out them in particularly to kill them first, which is obviously the easiest thing to do. The best way to pick them out. There's some there's some relatively challenging platforming in this game at times. That guy could shoot rockets. I don't think I fully mentioned it, but the third hit of the combo will rather. It works on everything but bosses. I think it works on everything. Yeah. It'll knock them into the air, which kind of stuns them. It's not perfect. Oh, I forgot there was a thing down there. They want them to stop. This is annoying. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so I took too long to find the teleporter, so it spawned the boss before I activated it. Before I activated the teleporter. Also, yep, I'm dead for good now. But it activated the teleporter, or no, it spawned the boss before I activated the teleporter. So when I activated the teleporter, it gave me a second boss that was stronger than the first one. And that's why I died. That went really poorly.